Hello, my name is Evan Hildebrandt with the Art Pocket, and I'm going to try to show you guys how to block in a painting. One of your first steps in order to make painting as a whole. To start off, we're going to use find our colors that we want to use. The colors that I tend to use are 5 different colors. It's up to you to vary what you want to do, but I usually use titanium white, cadmium yellow light, alizarin crimson, burnt umber, and French ultramarine blue. With those 5 colors, I can usually mix almost any other color that I need using those 5. Second, what you want to do is, according to the size of your painting, which the painting I'm doing right now is a 16 by 20 format, I'm going to try to figure out what kind of brushes I'm going to need in order to fill this painting in. So, I'm going to look at this picture here, and this is the picture that I'm going to put onto this canvas. So what I'll do is I'll look and say, okay, I probably need a few different size brushes in order to do this. So the brushes that I use are called filberts. I'm going to use one larger filbert and about 3 different size smaller filberts. And then on top of that, I got 2 mop brushes that I use and I'll show you why in a little bit. This is the outline of the painting that I'm going to do. As you can see, it's very sparse. It doesn't need a whole lot of line work. It's just very just sparse, just what I need as an outline. For an oil painting, you can actually do the underpainting with an acrylic base, meaning you can use acrylic paint to fill in the first layer of paint. But you can't, however, put acrylic on top of oil. Oil always has to go on top of acrylic. What I tend to do is I like to use an oil base. And when I use the oil base, what I do is I'll thin it out with mineral spirits. Meaning when I mix my colors up that I've figured out that I want to use, I'll also mix in some mineral spirits that will make the paint go farther and will also make the paint dry faster. That way I can let it sit for a day and dry and then paint on top of that. What you want to do when you're blocking in a painting is you want to make sure you look at blocking it in. You don't want to focus too much on the details. You want to look at blocks of color. So for example, on the picture that I'm going to paint, on this darker blue and lighter blue, most of that will be just blocks of color. I may put in the darker lines, but I'm not going to put in any of the fading of the white here or any kind of fading. It's all going to be very much blocked in. So that's what you want to keep in mind when you do that. The other thing is when you do lay down your colors, especially with oil paints, you want to make sure, this is why you use the mop brush. I'll show you these here, the mop brushes. They have a really kind of fuzzy tip. Is you're going to want to knock down some of the paint and smooth it out. Because what will happen is that paint will dry and it will have a little hump coming out of your canvas. And you don't want that because it looks like you have a mound that dries on your canvas. So in order to prevent that, you're going to take a little mop and mop that out. Okay, so what I did was I'm mixing up this kind of odd yellow-green color behind him here. What I tend to do is I like to do the outline of the subject first, and then do the subject, so it looks like obviously the subject is on top of the background. So what I did was I mixed this weird kind of yellow up over here, and I'm going to really kind of block it in. There's this black, kind of darker, not black, but darker piece here, and so I'm going to just make that one big block, and then make this another block of the yellow. And it goes all the way kind of behind his head here. I've got the line. again, you want to kind of almost cheat on moving in on his head. Don't worry about going over the line or anything like that. Just block it in. Okay, so as you can see, I went ahead and filled in some of this background color. So this is what you're going to look at here. It's obviously not exact. I didn't mean it to be exact. You don't need it to be exact. This is your very first layer. Normally I do about 3 different layers. So we're going to do this with pretty much the whole thing. We're going to do it with the face and everything else. I want to show you now. I'm going to go ahead and use my mop brush. I'm going to just start thinning out some of this stuff so that I don't have the bumps. So I'm just going to go over real nice and light, sort of fill in some of the spots that I didn't get completely. I'm not going to worry a whole lot about, you know, mixing it all in here and all that stuff. I just want to go in and make sure there's no bumps. And I want to try to make sure that the edges of the colors are touching. You can even see that I'm using the same brush for the whole thing, and it's not even really mixing the colors or anything like that, it's just smoothing it out. You're probably going to think, well, you know, it looks kind of rough or whatever, and that's exactly what you want. You want your mind to be relaxed when you're in this stage. If you get frustrated right now, this is how it works. I mean, you just want to put your first layer in, and it'll help you so much for the rest of the painting when you just take your time and do this. Okay, so what you see here is my first layer of skin on this painting. On top of that, I'll probably will do 2 to 3 more layers of skin. So this is the very first layer. If you have any more questions, please contact us through our site at www.theartpocket.com, and we will be happy to answer any questions that we can for you. Thanks a lot. Good luck painting.